What's up? My name is Hayden Browning. Welcome to Straight Talk. I'm your host. I'm a Texas Tech University student, videographer, editor. I've been going to university for about 3 years now, and I'm almost done. I have a podcast on TCVPA. You can check me out on the YouTube channel, or you can check me out on Spotify and iTunes. I guess Apple Music is what it's called now, not iTunes. Yeah, I'm not the only person that does a podcast on there. I just so happen to be the guy that does the podcast on there. And today, this is going to be weird. I'm alone today. No one here. This is my first podcast for my main channel. Well, not my main channel, my secondary channel on Hayden B. Browning, or Hayden Hollywood Browning. Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to talk about today. Mainly, I'd like to talk a little bit about Straight Talk itself. This is a podcast that's basically about general topics. Like, the first topic I have today is Kansas City Chiefs and Taylor Swift. Thanks, Travis Kelce. If you don't know, this shirt, this is John, right? Now, it's a John Legend t-shirt, but I'm a big John Mayer fan. I actually have his record right here. John Mayer. I'm also getting a PRS, and it's his signature guitar. So, first off, I'm not a fan of football anyways. I watch it. I like college football. It's way more engaging, I think, with the audience. It's more local. But you know who's really, I don't know if she's really a big fan or not. Taylor Swift, I don't know if she's been a football fan for a long time or not. I don't know. I'm uncertain. The fact that there's a flood of young women watching football now because of Taylor Swift, I guess it's cool for the industry of football or the Taylor Swift industry. But I personally, I don't watch football, so Taylor Swift popping up at a football game isn't going to make me watch it. Even if John Mayer popped up at a football game, I probably wouldn't watch it just because I don't like football. It's not my forte. And I see a lot of young women making football their forte because Taylor Swift's forte right now is football. For me, that seems a little dragging. I mean, it seems like definitely a bandwagon type ordeal. There's no other way to put it. And I just I know a lot of buddies who watch football, and they're praying to God that the Chiefs don't win this year. As much as I love Patrick Mahomes, shout out to Patty, I don't want him to win this year because of Travis. I don't. No offense to Taylor Swift fans, but no. Moving on. Like I said, I go to Texas Tech University, work for TCVPA. I've been going here for 3 years. I'd like to tell a little bit about me, and I'm a deep guy. I'm not, I'm no surface level Chad.
No offense to anyone named Chad.
I'm a deep guy, and I really I dealt with a lot growing up. And I moved to Texas Tech University, and I finally made a set of friends, and some stuff happened, and they're just not my life anymore. So this podcast is sort of like a fill-in for time, like I don't waste time. I don't enjoy sitting on my ass and watching TV shows on the TV or just laying in bed all day. Like I can't function that way. I'm chronically depressed. I have anxiety. I have a lot of problems, and growing up, those problems were kind of pushed aside because of video games. I'd want to just come home, play video games all day. I have a group of buddies I play with. I'm a nerd, okay? You're looking, this right here, this is a nerd. I work out. I love the gym. I love being active, but I love computers, and I love this stuff. I love creating. Like I said, cinematography is my major. I want to make movies. I'm writing a book right now called All I've Got. It's going to take probably a decade or two to finish up, but it'll be totally worth it. Yeah. Also, I'm not sponsored by BetterHelp, but if you are seeing yourself kind of spiral, BetterHelp offers a therapist online for whenever you need them at your convenience. And you can go to betterhelp.com, and that'll most definitely help you out in the long run. Though I'm not sponsored by BetterHelp, I'd like to make sure that's known. One thing Thomas has mentally is he likes to run off track here and likes to jump back on later down the line. I'd like to preface, I talk about my inability to kind of connect with people due to the fact that I prohibit that from happening, mainly because of trust issues and other issues I had growing up. This is sort of to help connect with the audience. I don't want to make you guys feel like I'm just talking about myself this whole podcast. That's not what this podcast is for. It's general topics about things I'm interested in, and one of the things being mental health. I'm kind of divulging myself a little bit here and releasing some information about myself that can kind of help the audience connect with myself in this situation, so that way you feel more open to communicating how you feel over the comments. So that's what this is for. I apologize once more for the random topic. Would be to explain why I don't make friends very easily. And the reasons why are primarily because of trust issues, and I was bullied a lot growing up by my own friends, taken advantage of growing up, and just all that not so good stuff. I know this is a very serious beginning of this podcast. I wasn't expecting it to be like this at all, but it's okay. You know, I think it's good to talk about. Everyone needs to talk about their issues going on in life. By the way, if you're dealing with anything, contact me if you want. I mean, I'd love to listen. I just like being an open ear. Yeah. Not only is the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift stuff going on right now, I mean, we have the Super Bowl in general, which is going to be a big one, I guess, this year. And I don't know if I'll watch it. I'm more of a UFC guy. I like UFC fights. I love one-on-one, tactile. I mean, you're reading not just off of your visual aspects, but you're reading based on shift of movement and weight and leverage, and I mean, all those things are really, really interesting to think about whenever you're in a fight. I've been in a couple of fights, but nothing crazy. No one's gotten, curb stomped or anything, and everyone's been okay at the end of it. I enjoy the aspect of just having a one-on-one interaction physically with someone and coming out on top, just submitting them or whatever it has to be. So this past year, I've been playing guitar nonstop. Shout out to my brother. He's the one that got me into guitar. My mom tried to get me into it growing up, but my brother, yeah, he's cracked. He is. Go check out the Dax Davis Band on Spotify and Apple Music. My brother's the lead guitarist for the Dax Davis Band, along with Watson, Keller, Dax, Riddick, and Zane. Zane being my brother. But he got me into guitar, and I've been sinking into that, and I'm very grateful that I have this as a pastime. Not many people get to say that they have the financial support in order to take up a hobby or multiple hobbies like me. I mean, I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed to have the family that I do and to have the people around me to put me forward. Also, I'm religious. I don't know if you can tell. I'm a Christian, though I do not force my religion on anyone else. Um, I I'm I just want to be a good person in life and help people. But back to the guitar. Some of my favorite musicians being Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, B.B. King, uh, Buddy Holly. I mean, all these classics that I really enjoy. John Mayer's probably the newest um, aged guitarist that I'm really interested in. I mean, of course, you got bands like Pink Floyd and the Beatles, and I think honestly one of my brother's favorite bands are the Beatles. That's who he focused learning on guitar first. Is he learned every single Beatles songs in his favorite albums, and then he worked his way up to John Mayer. And John Mayer has a very technical side of things. It's very complex. You got to think about sliding correctly or bending to the right amount or getting this tone, just squeezing that out correctly. But, guitar is it's one of those things where you have to suck at it before you get good at it. You have to. And if you dedicate enough time to it, you'll slowly see yourself gradually get more and more and more sunk into the world of guitar. And it's just an enjoyable thing to do because, I mean, you don't need someone around to enjoy a guitar, It's very personal. It's like I literally call my guitar my girlfriend. It's probably not healthy, but that's what it is. So, yeah, no, usually I talk more about more specific things that I've had written down, maybe some questions I've had written down, but really I just have like spark notes for this one. It is my first podcast. I don't really have a topic. It's a general podcast, so it's going to be kind of slow the first couple of episodes. I've been working on a short film project, and I've been having some issues with some blurry aspects on the video, which stinks. We don't really have the convenience of going and reshooting it. So to the best of my abilities, I have to try to sharpen the blurriness and fix some contrast issues, and I have to put everything together and clip everything and cut everything. I'm gonna have to do the same thing with this video. And also, sorry, my background is not really fancy. I don't have too much going on. I have a bookshelf with some nerds and some popcorn, and then TV. My mom actually painted this, by the way. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my mom for painting it. Bad ace. Also, if you watch anime, you'll know what that is. But I'm not super anime. I have like a couple that I find interesting. It's mainly the music in that one that really, gosh, man, it's like upbeat blues and jazz music. It's really good. I was supposed to have someone on today. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here. I really try to schedule these things out, and I really try to get them down. Sometimes people just get caught up, And I hope that's what happened. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he just couldn't show up, which is fine. It happens. I was also supposed to talk with Michael. Unfortunately, Michael's podcast building burned down just recently. I don't even know how. It just happened. Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy these past couple of weeks. I was very optimistic for this podcast, and then some things hit, and things just didn't go the way I was expecting them to. On March 7th, I'm going to be having Ann Hudson from iHeartRadio coming on. Not coming on. She'll be on Zoom, and I'll be talking with her on Zoom. And hopefully that goes really, really well, because I was hoping to get some more resources, and maybe she can come on and do another show, or if she knows anyone, I've been trying to connect, and I don't have a big spider web, but I have a very broad spider web. I have lots of different types of people. I have artists, I have business, I have scientists, I have engineers, I have musicians. I mean, I have so many different artists that have so much going on, and I love to talk with them about what they do. I myself am going to learn a lot throughout this journey. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be packed full of information. It's going to be very enlightening. And I look forward to learning, and even if I take most of this journey alone and it's just me talking to you guys, I really hope that you guys enjoy my presence as I enjoy yours. One thing I'm really big on is health and wellness. I want to focus on mental uh, dexterity and stamina, and I want to focus on physical aspects of health, pursuing a healthy lifestyle, eating healthy, maintaining a good mental health, because that's really, really important. If you're not okay, how can you make sure anyone else around you is? And it's very good that we all kind of have each other's backs. Someone who dives in headfirst into a challenge or a problem is probably going to be the one that makes the difference. You know, life having peaks and valleys, uh, the valleys will always be the hardest times of your life, but the peaks make up for that. And there's always a peak where there's a valley. Now, I'm not saying valleys are easy. You gotta pursue something that really bothers you. You have to do something that really doesn't make you feel comfortable. But it doesn't mean it's a bad thing necessarily. Try to use the negatives in your life as a learning experience. If you continue to fight the world, then you're just going to be living in the past, and you can't grow. You know. So sometimes it's good to acknowledge that it's okay to be in a bad place. I went to Vegas this past year for my 21st birthday. My dad and my grandfather took me to Vegas. Thank God that my grandfather was able to take me to Vegas. He was worried that he didn't want to do it again. It's not the same. From what he told me, Vegas used to be, they used to comp you, and they used to, you could sit in a private room and have a person right there in front of you, and they were real personal, and they would offer you things, and they would make sure that your stay is well. And now it's mainly about money. It used to be about money, but what are some incentives that we can do to get people to make them feel more comfortable in our presence? But I think that's what he was saying. I don't want to take his word for granted, but he went, and we had a great time. Vegas was awesome. I loved it. I think it's a crazy place. Very pretty at some parts, but some parts it's, like everywhere else, has its valleys. But we went to a spa to get a massage, and they had a hot tub, right? A little jacuzzi. And then over here was like a little bit less warm of a jacuzzi. And then over here was just like a room temperature jacuzzi. And then over here was like 40-degree water. And my dad, he's all about, health and maintaining his physicality for his age and all of that sort of stuff. So he goes, "Hey, let's do an ice bath." What this was a cooling ice bath. And he gets in, and gets in totally fine. He's not even shivering. He's not shaking. He does this normally. He tries to do it. He tries to do it every morning. And he's like, "Come on, get in." And so I step inside, and I was like, "Oh gosh," it was the most unpleasant feeling I've felt in a really long time. Like physically, it was one of the most unpleasant feelings. And he's like, "All right, just get your neck down in, get your neck in, get your neck in." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Breathe. Make sure you breathe, because if you don't breathe, you go into shock, and you can probably die in that cold ass pool." And there was a time there where I thought I was going into shock a little bit. But I finally get used to it. We're in there for like 2 minutes. I get out and I get in the hot tub, and I'm like, whoa. I mean, you feel so relaxed after that. You're like, I can't feel any worse than that, you know? And there's just something great about taking something harsh where you're like, I can't do this, and getting in, sitting in it. I mean, there's just something about it. It's totally relaxing. It's rejuvenating, even, you know? I had a shoulder issue, and I could feel the exact pins and needles on where the pain was. And I mean, it's crazy. Um, but yeah, I mean, it ties right back into peaks and valleys. You never know when something that seems really bad might just lead you to somewhere really good. So keep your head up, keep moving, keep at it. Yeah, I'd like to have my friend Sean on the podcast. He's an engineer here at Texas Tech University, and uh, I'd like to talk about my buddy Jim. And uh, he was my buddy. Sorry. Um, there were just some good times I really had with him, and I feel like they were cut short. But he's just someone that was in my life that I'm really grateful for. Him and his family and the friends he's brought in my life and everyone that's really impacted my life today and who's kind of still in my life, that I go to college with is really because of him. And I'm still proud to call him my friend. I I am very emotional. I don't know if you can tell. Uh, I love jokes. I love humor. I love cracking jokes. I really do. It's harder to do it alone. Um, I do sketches. Sketches will be on this channel. If you have any ideas for sketches, or if you yourself um, are in the Texas Tech area and you're willing to make skits and sketches with me, I'd love to. I'd love to grow my creativity outlook and my outreach and my connections with people. So if you're watching this and you go to Texas Tech University, my name's Hayden Bryant Browning. I go here. I'm a junior. You can probably get my email pretty easily. But yeah. Also, I'll be moving to Austin after I graduate, where I will be trying to go for cinematography and working on movies is what I want to do. But on top of that, I'd love to do comedy. I'd love to play in a band. I mean, there's so many things I want to do in my life, and I have so much time, but I don't have enough time. It's so weird. I mean, it's just this weird limbo feeling in my life, you know? Like a flatline, like someone's on a hospital bed and they're flatlining. Very, very quiet, solitude oriented. Um, but it's probably for the best, you know? I need a little quiet in my life. And I've learned a lot. So I'm very grateful for where I am right now and where I am to go. Um, I'd like to have Jet on the podcast. A lot of childhood memories with Jet. Shout out to Jet Cartwright, Kale Cartwright, the Cartwrights. Shout out to the Cartwright family, aka my other family, and then my other family, which is right there. They're all three. Brownings, that's number one, right? And then two other two families that right under me that I'm a part of.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm more than the family. Hold on. Those words were incorrect. These two families have made such a large impact on my life, and they're people I can turn to. I can be myself. I can make them laugh. They can make me laugh. Um, the Chandlers and the Cartwrights really have had a huge impact on my life. Eben is the total opposite of me. I'm creative, uh, pretty outgoing, outspoken. I speak too much sometimes. Whereas Eben is quiet. He's to himself. He is funny. He's a funny dude. Also, I would like to say that Eben is creative, very creative. One of the most gifted painters I've ever met. Um, but I mean, he's just like he's quiet. He's well kept to himself. He's really only outgoing towards me, and to have someone like that in your life is very, very equalizing. Um, and he thinks in ways that is very protective. I mean, I could go on and on about Eben, just because of how amazing of a friend he is and how much he's really impacted my life. Also, shout out to Hutch. I've been on such a guitar train recently. By the way, let me introduce you to my guitar, okay? Um, my first acoustic, my mom got me last year. Technically not my first acoustic. It's my first real acoustic. My first acoustic. My first acoustic I got when I was probably 13, and I started taking guitar lessons whenever I was 13. I took like a month worth of lessons, and I just didn't stick with it. Like I didn't care. Zane, he comes and he starts playing drums and piano and guitar. And I didn't realize how cool guitar was until Zane, my brother, picked up the guitar. And shout out to Hutch. We know nothing. We are dumb. Like I can do scales, I can do chords, not all of them. But the fact I have someone like Hutch, my buddy Hutch, who I met through my buddy Hunter, we took a ski trip. You can check out that ski trip actually on this channel. It's in my video list, and you can check that video. I love it if you did. It's not the greatest video, but you can really catch moments where I feel like I have really, really, really good friends. And really, my whole life has been about making really, really memorable friends who will stick with me, ups and downs, no matter what, no matter what I do. Hopefully not towards them. If I overstep on them, I will always apologize and try to make up for it. You can only do so much after something's been done, but you can always try to mend those relationships that you impact negatively. Anyways, I have ADHD. I don't know if you can tell. I go everywhere. Back to the point of the guitar. My brother, he picked up guitar. This is his first. I gave him this guitar. This is his first guitar. You can see right there. It's his first one. Signed by my brother, which is really cool. I love the fact that the first guitar that I ever had was my brother's first guitar, and he reintroduced me in the guitar. I'm gonna put my name on the other side, right there, and then I'm just gonna hang this up. I love this guitar. I'm never gonna get rid of this guitar. It has no pickup. It's not fancy. The frets are extremely small. I mean, that's my thumb, my finger right there, wrapping around all the way. Comparatively, this, which it wraps around all the way, but not nearly as much. You can see my fingers touching right there. Comparatively, to this. Listening and you can't see, comparatively, it's probably about like maybe half an inch larger than the smaller guitar. And then that PRS I'm getting, Silver Sky SE. Oh, beautiful guitar. I'm gonna put it right here. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it right here because the light right there does not look good. Right here is, sorry, PRS SE Silver Sky, and it's gonna be my first electric. I have an electric right now. It's not mine. It's a Keith Urban. It's a pretty guitar. There's some knob issues, as you can hear. But yeah, so basically what that ties into is I don't have many friends here at Tech. I did. I don't anymore. They either left, they don't talk to me anymore. Many new friends, got boyfriends or girlfriends, you know. Shout out to Sean and Hayden. I have me and God, and I'm full, you know. I'm full with that. I'd love to have a little bit of an overflowing, but it's okay that I don't right now. Yeah, I mean, that's about it for the first podcast. Nothing too crazy. It's just a little bit of get to know me and who I am, what I do, what I'm interested in. If you're interested in guitar, videography, I'm not huge into politics. I actually, I hate politics. It's just an issue. I think it's a money grabbing scheme. You gotta have money to be in politics, and you gotta have money to stay in politics. And there's some other industries like that, like cinematography is an industry that's heavily focused on money currently. I'm not that way. I like a good story. I like content. I like something that I can bring to the table versus, why would you want to waste your time listening to a podcast for 45 minutes if they don't tell you anything or you don't learn anything? Very philosophical. That's my politics, is philosophy. I mean, there's just so much in my life that I have to think for, and I'd like to think it through here, through this. And this is my way of expressing myself without feeling like I'm doing too much. When I have guests on my podcast, like Josh, I will be learning about them. There will be parts where I talk about myself, but for the most part, I'll be talking about them, what they're like, what their interests are, maybe interests that we may have in common. What are some ways that I can gain knowledge from these people that are spending time with me to impact not only my life, but the channel here and y'all's life as well. Thank you guys for listening and watching. I really appreciate it. It's gonna be a journey. I'm looking forward to it. Y'all are gonna get to see me travel. Y'all are gonna get to see me move around. Y'all are gonna get to see me grow, get old, and I can't wait for y'all to see this ugly mug get old. You know, I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you guys for listening, watching. Appreciate the time. Appreciate your energy. I hope your energy today is enlightened and only exuberant with happy feelings and a wonderful day ahead of you. I'm gonna make sure I use that word right, exuberant, because you never know. You know, I'm also huge into English, by the way. I don't know if you guys are big English guys. I love poems. I love writing songs. Yeah. I hope y'all's days are exuberant. I use that correctly. That's interesting. Almost. But yeah, I hope y'all have an exuberant day filled with energy of happiness and pure joy. And thank you guys for listening, watching, giving y'all's time to me. This for me really isn't a hassle. The editing part is. I don't really enjoy editing too much. I do it, but I mainly like the creative process of things, as well as the interactive portion. Anyways, I hope you guys have an awesome day. God bless y'all. And make the day yours. Have a great one.